That's it now. That's me finished. I'm absolutely broken. Absolutely broken. Absolutely broken. It's really finished me off now. The programming, the social engineering has worked. The social engineering, I was walking around in circles. I was telling the reception here, I was telling the staff, going to get them to call the police and report crimes that have been committed to me as a resident here in this building. I won't say where I live. The crimes that have been committed by both the police, but crimes that are actually on the Metropolitan Police website. These 3 words: rare, targeted, and criminal offence. I said, Darren's right, words have power. It's on the website. Rare, targeted, and criminal offence. And I've had not only the phone calls and an obscene phone call, I've also had the text messages. But I said, it doesn't matter. Been speaking for hours to her, all night on the phone, all night here. Bryony, the living woman, and not the legal fiction. And I've also asked her, because I don't really think anyone's got any balls. Robert Whelan, have you reported? You told me Dan made a YouTube video about me. You're a man. You're a man, are you? What have you got to hide? No, this is no disrespect for you. You said you were doing me a favour telling me. How are you helping me by telling me that Dan from Police Abusing Powers, who is part of these criminal offences against me, is making videos about me when I'm already suicidal? I don't know if my father is alive because of a solicitor's voice message to me. My father could be dead. I'm never going to see my sisters again. My partner's emotionally abused me. He was arrested for that. Nobody wants to know, though. The police have committed the worst crimes of humanity against me. They should be locked up. If Darren is going to be convicted, Eben, and you find it all so funny, don't you, that your friend who was arrested in your flat for abusing me, well, you're appalled, are you? So am I appalled. And there's evidence of you laughing when I've told you that I've committed attempted suicide on your bed. A stranger in your flat who's been emotionally abused and you even said to me, and it's in the phone call, you actually said to me that Darren has had abuse on his Facebook page. Well, I wouldn't know about it, would I? Because he blocked me. Any abuse that he's had, he left me to sleep rough. I was telling you everything he's done to me. You don't care though, do you? It's only when something affects you, and what affects you is me having stuff on your landing. And you say someone's been in your flat. Oh, I don't know though who it could have been who took the stuff away. Well, Juliet finds it strange as well because she rang me after that live stream last night. She hasn't been well. She said you rang her yesterday. You rang her yesterday, did you? It's funny that, Eben, because you text me to say, you actually text me to say, when you started being unpleasant to me in text messages, I don't want to speak to Juliet. I don't want to speak to her. Well, you pick your moments, don't you? What is it? I think you've got a guilty conscience, haven't you? Because I find it very strange that things have just mysteriously disappeared from your landing. Who could it have been? Have you spoken to Darren? Because I haven't spoken to Darren. Not since he was arrested. No, sorry, not since the end of October when he said you were coming back and I had to get out of your flat. I don't care anymore, though. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. That's what I've been telling reception. Nothing matters. So he brought the post here. Yeah, because he watches my YouTube videos. He put 2 and 2 together. I've never put the address on here. But he realised he would have watched me. I know because he watches me and he would have seen me say, oh, I was here 6 years ago before they started moving me around and making me street homeless. It's interesting, that, isn't it? Because what does he say to people at the council? What does he say? What's he said and done? It doesn't matter anymore. If you had seen me crying on the phone a little while ago, if you had seen my pain, I don't know why I bother anymore. I just don't. It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore. Tina Chave of the Independent Advice Network, you are disgusting. Do you know what? I will leave everything on my laptop open so that whoever finds my laptop can just go into the emails. Because my sisters are going to want to know what's happened. What's happened? What's happened here? What's happened to her? People will want to know what happened to her. It's all on here. It's all on here. So what are you going to do, Princess Angela and Dan? You haven't got a life, have you? You're waking all hours, aren't you, harassing me? I come on here onto my channel. I've never looked at your channel. I was told by someone called Robert Whelan on Facebook that you had made a video about me. That's how I knew. I don't look at your channel. I don't want to see. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know anything about you lot. If I mention you lot on my channel, it's because of what you've done, and you know what you've done. A woman from the Independent Advice Network. I know that you go on and you go off. You got friends in high places. I really couldn't give a toss. You have committed serious crimes against a vulnerable woman who's in a suicidal state, who's had complex issues, who's had these crimes committed against her human rights and civil liberties. I remember seeing you once say, oh, the common law don't work. Well, you don't work. Nothing about you works. All you do is get your minions. Maybe you've got friends that do work for the police. Yeah, because a lot of them are thick anyway. There's a man who reads off a whole list. I was on the phone for hours to the woman on the desk. Paedophiles, rapists, every scumbag under the sun that they've got working as police. 30 years ago, my mother and I had a lodger, a WPC lodger, when a police officer was a police officer, a woman police officer, when they dressed smartly with the hat and everything. Now they're recruiting thick, numpty idiots, pretty much like the 101 call handlers who terminate my calls, and I've recorded them endlessly hanging up on me when my life has been in danger, even leading up to Darren's Darren's abuse. I said, Darren is emotionally abusing me right now. I didn't want to ring them. I didn't want to get other people involved. But Juliet said, you've got to. If he's assaulting you, if he's abusing you, you've got to. But what's the point? Because the police have done it. They've committed crimes that's up to life imprisonment for malfeasance of office. And they're doing it to people all over the country, not just me. I was on the phone to Rave Savage last night. The speaker at the conference, the ex-Sussex police speaker. But he was with a family who are going to face eviction. And they've got physical illnesses. And by the way, Princess Angela, I read your text message. You've been sending me incessant text messages. At least you've admitted where you got my phone number from, because whether you do or you don't, the fact is you've still committed a criminal offence, Princess Angela from the police abusing powers community. Oh, your friend can't have had cancer treatment for a year. I've got lymphatic something or other leukemia. I said to Juliet said, oh, for goodness sake. She said, these people don't have a life. I said, I know. I don't know you. But I've recorded it. It's all on here. It's on my laptop. It's recorded onto my laptop. It's on my YouTube channel. You've all impeached yourselves. So now the people here know they've got a vulnerable person. I've let them know. I said, tell them they've got a vulnerable resident who's got evidence of crimes committed against them. It's on them. I'm not having it. I said, if it's the last thing I do on this earth, is to speak my truth. Because you're so filthy in here, and you're so filthy in here. There's nothing in you. Nothing at all in you. I'm so broken. 3 years ago, I had PCSOs say to me, most people would have given up a long time ago. And to be honest, we'd be more angry than you. Now I am angry. Now I am. Ray said, there's no point. You don't go to the authority. He said that the authorities, they're not fit for purpose. Like you said, if I were you, I just wouldn't go anywhere. But I had to explain to Ray. He said, when I saw you, you were nicely dressed. I said, yes, I'm allowed to have nice clothes. I said, I am. You're right, though. I'm an actress. What you don't know about me, and what most people don't know, because he'd only met me once at that conference last month, is I'm an actress. Sometimes when people have said to me, how are you, Bryony? Fine, thank you. I've been thinking about going and killing myself. But when I actually tell a nurse or a mental health nurse, oh, no, Bryony, are you just saying that? They do all the fakery. I was telling Juliet about a nurse at the walk-in surgery. I've been sleeping rough on the edge of Beachy Head. This is all while I've been with Darren, of course. I had left a duvet up there on the edge of Beachy Head. I was sleeping on the edge of the cliff, and I went down there to get them to look at my toenail because it was coming off. So she removed what was left of it. As I walked away, I said, I'm not good, actually. I'm feeling suicidal. Oh, now, Bryony, are you just saying that? This is a nurse at the Eastbourne walk-in surgery at the train station. She said my name. I didn't even know her. And I just looked. I said, and Juliet was disgusted. I said, well, I just walked away. I thought, well, what's the point? And I just walked away. I went back up to Beachy Head where my duvet was, hidden away. Not on the main part of the cliffs, but hidden away. And lay there. And Dan Saxby from Brighton Housing Trust, that useless. He told me to go to the local government ombudsman for compensation from the police because homeless people are being put in police cells. They don't even deal with housing, though. They don't even deal with evidence of me being attacked. They don't even care that Juliet, who's not well, still not well, I don't understand treatment processes, but she was attacked in the street by random drunks trying to help me. She's been a support worker. She's trying to help me. And she sends them an email on my behalf. I'm a witness to, Bryony McCarthy. And she described what happened. She was a member of the public. I got evidence of the social care people lying to me. I've got evidence of medical negligence. It's all recorded. Dragged into St Mary's house in handcuffs, sectioned, and 4 months later, dragged out of there in handcuffs, illegally arrested out of there. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to arrest patients out of a psychiatric unit. Do you know what? This girl here was a patient on the psychiatric unit. This one here, Emma. And do you know what she said to me? She too was assaulted by a patient. She called the police and the police said, we can't deal with it because it's a psychiatric unit. Well, then why the fuck was I arrested out of there? I'll tell you why. Because I'd contacted the BBC. Bit scared now, aren't you? Well, you should be. You've committed crimes against me. You have. A month after John Patterson was disappeared out of there. I recorded the ward review. I said the housing officer didn't turn up on the 13th of June. Social services didn't turn up a month later. Hello? And I recorded the ward manageress saying, I said, Councillor Robin Maxted said you can't release me with nowhere to go. Yes, we can. I'm recording this. They didn't realise because they'd never seen me with a smartphone, but hidden away, I had my tiny, cheap little crappy phone, and I've now recorded it onto the dictaphone. It's on YouTube as well. They committed a crime against me. I was in hospital pyjamas. And I was in a state saying, Darren, they're calling the police. But he didn't want to be down there at A&E. So why did PC Harriet say he was a knob? PC Harriet was there when Reese jumped off Beachy Head. He told me, this is a patient who discharged themselves when I went AWOL the year before in 2018, and the Herald had reported me missing. Because they didn't want to help me. And this Reese jumped off Beachy Head, just like his brother. So anyway, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I've got so many horror stories. When you've been dragged around like a rag doll in handcuffs so many times, this sweet girl has this note. She was a patient on the ward. Hey, Bryony, just to let you know, say I'm here for you and I'm on your side. Your fellow roommate on the bed opposite. She said what I said. She said, they don't do fucking anything. I said, I know. She was she said, I crave the peace and quiet. I said, I know. We'd both been assaulted by patients in there. And the police said to her, we can't deal with it because it's a psychiatric unit. But they're arresting me out of there. I'd gone into the hospital to make a complaint about the abuse in the psychiatric unit. Police turn up. I'm in hospital pajamas and they're pushing me down onto the car and handcuffing me. You think I want to live in that world? But Dan from Police Abusing Powers, who does fuck all but makes YouTube channel, makes money for himself, sells merchandise, he's not fit for purpose either. Because someone that he emailed me to say was helping me by contacting the MP office was actually reported to the police for being abusive. And apparently he contacted the House of Commons as well. It's on my YouTube channel. Look it up. It's all there. Phone call to the MP office, Scott Andrew Horn. I've got the email from Dan from Police Abusing Powers. So you tell me. You tell me. And I've got recorded evidence. Look at a couple of live streams back and you'll see evidence of him and Tina Che from the Independent Advice Network. Part of the evidence. Sadly, I didn't, as I said, I will repetition for emphasis, because if my sisters ever see this, and I want them to hear this, I've been crying on the phone here saying I'm not able to even open the text messages from them. I've cried on my YouTube channel. Have you seen the videos of me crying? Yeah, Robert Whelan. Why haven't you contacted? Have you actually? Let me see. Is there a message from you on Facebook? Have you responded to me yet? Have you? Have you? I'm sorry, but I have to know where I stand because I'm literally don't care anymore. Give me a number to ring and I will ring. Robert Whelan, I'm looking at you said to me you've watched every video of mine since you found me because you were part of the Andy Devine yet. What do you mean give you a number to ring? Ring 101, ring the police. Why haven't you rung them? You told me that Dan had made this channel. You're a big grown man, right? You're 64. I'm sorry, but you don't want your name out there. You sound like Darren. Darren's 53. Grow a pair. I'm the woman. I'm the woman here. Darren goes on about the Bible all the time and quotes the scriptures. You don't leave a woman to sleep rough, you protect her. Men are meant to be protecting women. Where's the protection of me? Where's the protection? Why, if you knew that Dan had made this video, why haven't you rung the police? Why are you saying to me, have you got a number for me to ring? What number? Have you contacted the police? You're the one who watches the channel for entertainment and you're letting me know that he's made a video about me, but don't put my name out there. Well, look at me. Some people have it worse than you. Make up your mind. That's because that is you're taking the piss. You're taking the piss. I like to know where I stand with people. I might be vulnerable, but don't patronise me. My mother used to say some people have it worse than others. Yes, I do. My mother would be 85. The last 6 years, my mother died in 2009, and the last 6 years, I've had nothing but mental and physical torture. My mother would be 85, and I tell you this. My mother was someone who got up in church and shouted against the appraisal of my headmaster. She was the only one brave enough to do it. Everyone had complained to the PTA, but there they were in church, and she got criticised. I was a child at the time, and I was so proud of her. I was embarrassed, but I was proud of her. She cried afterwards. She said, "Oh gosh, I don't know." Oh. But I was so proud of her. I couldn't say it though. I couldn't get the words out. And I thought, I want to be like her. I don't want to be like all these. Are you a man or are you a mouse, Robert? Don't say my surname. I can't believe you've done that. Have you contacted the police? Have you reported Dan's channel? You watch my videos. Have you reported him? Because I am being targeted. It's on the Metropolitan Police website. Targeted, rare, criminal offence. And I have put the evidence of the obscene phone call, the harassing phone calls, the incessant harassing anonymous phone calls, all days of the night, all hours, anonymous. I was saying to the Gemma here, I said, you've got to ask yourself a question. Why would a 101 call handler, when you've told them that you're recording them, keep hanging up on you? When you're reporting criminal offences that are actually on the Metropolitan Police website, and they've consistently hung up on me, even when my life was in danger, even when Darren was abusing me, they were hanging up on me there and then. I'm a targeted individual. These are serious crimes. The police have committed crimes against my human rights and civil liberties that are up to life imprisonment. So what have you done, Robert? Don't gaslight me and say, have you got a number? Have you rung the police? You're a 65-year-old man watching a suicidal woman who's had these heinous crimes committed against her. Okay, sorry, I'm being very personal here, but I'm actually thinking, I got to be careful what I say, because this won't get broadcast either way. Otherwise. But I have been on the phone crying my eyes out to reception here. I have been. You don't see all my pain, but there are videos of me crying my eyes out because of Darren. In Eben's flat as well. In Eben's flat, but it's such a jolly old laugh for her. Well, if you feel you need to report him, report him. Well, you know what? It's none of my business where a person's faith is. But when I saw she had Bibles, I thought she might be a caring person. That conversation between me and Eben, it's there for you. If you've got nothing to hide, just like Robert, if you've got nothing to hide, why haven't you reported Dan's channel? Because I've been on the phone to reception here, asking them, the management here, to report them, which is something you could do for me. Do you really think that I want the world to see me like this, greasy-haired, in a dressing gown, filthy, I'm exhausted. I'm broken. I'm a targeted individual. I can't be 100% sure if it's deep state, but the fact that I met John Alexander Patterson and you, Robert, were disgusted with how John was treated, then come on. If you, like me, were disgusted with what all this lot did to John Patterson, then why aren't you disgusted for me? Why haven't you rung the police? You don't want to get targeted, do you? Well, excuse me, but here's a young woman who, well, I'm not so young anymore, but Darren can't deal with anything. Do you really think I wanted to put Darren's full name across? It doesn't matter anyway. Eben was like, oh, well, poor Darren has got his impairments. He chose to take a caring role through Care for the Carers. You take responsibility for yourselves. Darren from Police Abusing Powers has, with his community, targeted a vulnerable woman. I've got evidence of it. It's on my channel. It's all there. It's been reported here. I need someone else to step in, because clearly, according to the Metropolitan Police website, I'm a targeted individual. It's rare and it's a criminal offence. Words have power. Rare, targeted criminal offence. And that's me done now because I'm so broken now. That's me done.